Hey, this is DK, and you're listening to the DK Speaks podcast, where we discuss actionable and implementable tips and tricks to run a successful online business. After you listen to this episode, head over to dkspeaks.com for all the show notes and resources to help build your business. Hi, this is DK, and welcome to episode 35 of the DK Speaks podcast. If you like today's episode, don't forget to share it with your social media circles on Facebook and Twitter. You should be able to find the sharing buttons on the episode page at dkspeaks.com. Go ahead, click the buttons and share it with your social media circles and friends on Facebook and Twitter. Now, social media is gaining importance, and if you're not on social media, then you're losing a lot out to your competitors. And when I say social media, there are multiple social media channels. You can talk about Facebook, you can talk about Twitter, you can talk about LinkedIn, Instagram. There are quite a lot of social media channels, but it doesn't mean that you need to really spend a lot of time in almost all of these social media channels. But you need to be available on at least some of the top social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. So when we're talking about Instagram, one of the obvious questions that comes to your mind is, what about Instagram? Why Instagram? And how is it that you can use Instagram to build your business? Now, this question is a slightly tricky question to ask because, I'm sure you're like me, who's not been doing a lot with Instagram except for posting maybe a few pictures, which are personal pictures of yours, onto your personal profile on Instagram so that you can share it with your friends and your social media circles. But the real question is, are you making any money on Instagram? The answer for sure is a no. And it was the same with me until about a month back. While it is a little too early for me to call myself a success on Instagram, I still wanted to share these Instagram tips with you that I'm going to share with you in this episode. And in this episode, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share with you 2 simple ways of making money on Instagram and all the tools that you will need in order to go and make money with Instagram. You all know about the growing popularity of Instagram. So just to give you some of the statistics about Instagram has had about 500 million monthly active users as on May 2016. And they had close to 300 million daily active users as per the statistics in May 2016. And they had close to 300 million daily active users as per the statistics in May 2016. And also, you need to understand that it is growing by almost 60% in the US alone. And if you're not aware of the fact that Facebook bought Instagram in a $1 billion deal, then you're sure to know the importance of how Instagram is growing and what is the potential of Instagram. Now, Facebook is also running sponsored ads on Instagram, which is a good enough proof that Instagram ads really work, and it is making money, and it is helping build business for a lot of people. And that is why they are so successful in running sponsored ads on Instagram. So, the basic question is, what is it that people do on Instagram? And the answer is, they post photographs, selfies, and quotes. So these are pictures that have quotes in them, and this is all that they do. So with posting photographs, selfies, and quotes, how is it that you will be able to make money? And that is precisely what we are going to discuss in this episode. So let's jump straight onto the first method. Now, I used to spend a lot of time trying to find out how to make money with Instagram. And while I was doing all of this, I used to browse through multiple profiles, check through their profiles, check through the photographs that they were posting to understand what is it that they were doing on Instagram. And it was by sheer coincidence that I came across a profile where I saw the person mentioning something like what she had mentioned is that for a shout out and the pricing for shout outs, please send me a message. So it basically meant that she was selling something on Instagram. But I did not know how is it that she was making money using a shout out on Instagram. So I quickly browsed through the photographs that she had posted on Instagram, and I read through some of the captions and found that a lot of these photographs in the caption had a mention about a shout out for another Instagram user. Now, this basically meant all that she was doing was posting that photograph onto her profile along with a shout out for that specific person. And she was charging that person for this one shout out. So when I realized that these were paid shout outs, what I did is I reached out to the user to check how much is it that she was charging for this single shout out. And I was shocked to see the response. She was charging around $200 for a shout out. And what she was doing is she was sending out one post every day for a week, which means there were 7 posts which had a mention about your profile or your Instagram handler in the caption. That is all that she was doing. And she was charging $200 for that. And I went back to check the number of followers she had, and she had close to about 8,000 followers. So it essentially meant that if you have about 8,000 odd followers, you could be charging about $200 for a mere shout out for another Instagram user. Now, what you need to keep in mind in this entire thing is that it is not about the number of followers that you have in your Instagram account. It is about how engaging they are. What is the level of engagement that they are showing with your photographs? So if your audience or if your followers are engaging enough, then I'm sure you could easily make $200 for a single shout out on Instagram. And that is just with about 8,000 odd followers. So imagine if you have somewhere around 32,000 odd followers in your Instagram account. So I realized that this is the way people are making money. What I did is I started building one of my Instagram account. And if you're not aware, Instagram now lets you add multiple profiles to a single account. So you could add as many profiles as you want into your single account on your mobile phone. So what I did is I created a profile for one of my niche websites, which was in the fashion niche. And I started building followers and I started building that account. It took me about 2 months to build that account to about 5,500 odd followers. And what I did is I kept posting regularly into this account so that I get enough engagement from my followers. And I was able to build a very engaging Instagram profile in this fashion niche. And after I did that, what I did is in my profile, I mentioned about selling shoutouts. And to my surprise, in just about 2 weeks after I posted that, I got my first order, which was about $125. What I was doing is I charged $125 for sending a shout out for an Instagram user. What I did is I was sending one post out for close to 10 days and they paid me $125. So that was the first money that I made on Instagram. So if you want to make money on Instagram, one of the easiest way to do is to sell shoutouts. Moving on to the second method. Now, we all know that on Instagram, what we primarily do is we post pictures. The fact is that all the Instagram users, the pictures that they post are not all their own. They also source pictures, they curate, they use others' pictures, they repost, they do all of this on Instagram. And this was one area where I had a huge hurdle because I never knew how is it that you could click so many pictures and post on Instagram. And then I realized that you have an option of reposting on Instagram. Now, this is the second method of making money. I found users who were sourcing pictures or photographs from others and were ready to post those photographs on their profile for a charge. So there was one such user who was in the health niche, basically the dieting niche, who had something mentioned in her profile description where she said she was ready to post your pictures for a charge. And I reached out to her to see what is it that she was charging. She had close to about 6,000 odd followers. And I found that she was charging about $25 to post a picture of yours on her profile. And this was along with your Instagram profile or Instagram handler. So it was a different way of giving a shout out to an Instagram user. But she was making money with that. And I'm sure if she could get at least 5 to 6 such photographs, she had good amount of engagement on her Instagram profile. And if she could get about 5 to 6 such photographs, it was free content for her social media profile or for her Instagram profile. And at the same time, she was making money. She could easily make about $125 by posting 5 such pictures, which was not even hers. So the effort was done by somebody else, but she was making money using it. So that is a second way of making money. Now, these are 2 simple methods that I found of making money with Instagram. So if you have any methods or any ways of making money with Instagram, don't forget to post them in the comment section in dkspeaks.com. Now, I had spoken about some of the tools that could help you make this money with Instagram. So let me quickly get onto these tools and why is it that you need these tools. Now, we all know that Instagram is a mobile-only app, but it could be a pain for some of us who are not a mobile phone whiz to click pictures or to transfer pictures from your PC to your phones and then post them on Instagram. Now, in order to do all of this and simplify this entire process, you need some of these tools. And that is basically what I'm going to talk to you about. There are 6 such tools that I used in the last couple of months to build my profile. The first one was a tool called as Instagress. Now, Instagress is an automated tool which helps you build followers, which helps you unfollow people who are not following you, which also helps you like, comment, and do all of this on an automated basis. So it is automating all of these activities on social media. Instagress can help you build your followers on your Instagram account. But be a little cautious because if you do this simultaneously using your phone and Instagress, your account could be blocked. So go through the instructions of Instagress very carefully before using it. But it can be a very handy tool to build your followers. The second one is Grum. Now, Grum is a discovery that I did a couple of months back, and I can tell you that this is one of the best scheduling tools for Instagram. Most of the schedulers for Instagram, what they basically do is they send a notification onto your mobile phone when it is time for you to send out a post on Instagram. But that can again mean a hassle because you need to pick your phone, go through the notification, click, post, and then send out the post on Instagram. Whereas with Grum, all of that happens automatically. And the best part is that it is a PC, it's a computer or a system-based application. So it's an online application. It can work on your PC or on your Mac. And what it does is when you schedule your post, it automatically sends those posts out to Instagram. You don't need to interfere in any way. And it is completely in line with the terms of services of Instagram. The third one is Crowdfire, which again is a social media management application. It'll help you find some of the details about your followers, unfollow people who are not following you, follow people, and manage your Instagram profile in a simpler and easier way. The fourth one is Social Insights. This basically gives you a lot of insights or analytical data about your social media profile. So you know what is the amount of engagement that you're seeing on your posts and how engaging is your followers with most of the posts that you're doing on Instagram. The fifth one is Repost for Instagram. Now, this is something that I spoke to you about. You might not always have a photograph that you would have clicked that you want to share on Instagram. So how is it that you continuously share content on Instagram? Repost for Instagram, what it does is it helps you find posts that are interesting, that somebody else would have posted on Instagram, and repost that on your profile. So that way, it provides you continuous content that you can post on your Instagram profile. And the last one is Have to Have It. Now, Have to Have It is a very handy application, which was earlier being called as SoldC. Now, Have to Have It, what it does is it gives you a lot of analytical data, and at the same time, it also helps you schedule your posts to Instagram. So it can help you with conversion tracking, with analytics, with scheduling your posts. And, it has a lot of functionalities like the embed functionality and all. But the best part is that it helps you leverage the only single clickable link that Instagram allows, which is basically in your profile. So what have2have.it does is that it links all of your posts to that link that is there in your profile description. So because there are no links that are allowed in any of these captions in Instagram, what have2have.it does is it links your post to that specific link that is there in your profile description. That way, it helps you make the most out of the link that is there in your profile description, which is the only link that you can have on your profile. So have2have.it has been an extremely good, extremely helpful tool for me, because I don't need to keep directing people to my profile description to find the link. Instead, they automatically get directed to that link when they click on the post that I made on Instagram. Now, these are some 6 very handy tools that I'm sure you will like, which will help you build your Instagram account and help you make money with Instagram. So that is it for episode 35 of the DK Speaks podcast. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to rate the show on iTunes and post a genuine review about the show there. It will help us in the rankings of the show. And at the same time, you can go ahead and share this episode with your social media circles and your friends using the social media buttons that are there on dkspeaks.com. Now, for all the show notes and the transcripts and details about whatever we spoke about in today's episode, including the resources, head over to dkspeaks.com. You should be able to find everything there. So until the next episode, this is DK signing off. You all have a nice week ahead.